Alright. Hello. I gotta wait a minute to make sure the stream is actually working. I think it's working. Yeah, looks like it. Okay. Alright. Get everything set up. Okay. Let's see. Where do I start? I guess I'll just start by showing off the game real quick. This is what I've been working on. Okay, so some of these things, player character was not made by me nor the tiles. There's no sound to this game, because I don't know, well, I know how to implement sound effects, I just don't have any sound effects to use. Right, so this is an RPG that I've been working on. So, let me hear. Hello everyone, my name is Jazzboy, and this is an RPG that I've been working on for a little bit. This is what I've got so far. Today I wanted to stream some development on a shopping system that I want to implement so that the player can, buy items and buy weapons. So far I got it so that the player can move around. I got warps working, different rooms that you can go to. I got obviously signs working. These messages will work, I just haven't programmed anything to be in them. You can go between room to room. I have camera scrolling working. And I actually do have enemies in a sec, but on this other room, you can see I have this shop right here that I've set up. So I just should not, obviously. I'll come back to that in a little bit. Let me show you the rest of what I have. I have enemy encounters. So right now, I don't have special items. I don't have special attacks working, but I have regular attacks, items, and run. So with items, you can obviously select whatever items you have in your inventory. With attack, it's just a basic attack. If there were multiple enemies, you could select them. And then run, obviously you just run. So, let's see, with attack, you press the space bar to select it. Now, there's no animation or anything, so it just kind of looks awkward. And then the enemy attacks you back. But, I implemented a mechanic known as, well, I call it perfect guarding. Yeah, I call it perfect guarding, where you can press the spacebar right as the enemy's about to hit you. Okay, thanks for... Let me move the mic a little closer. Let's see here. So, as I was saying, there's a mechanic in this game that I've already implemented where you can press the spacebar to guard, And if you do it just right, you won't take any damage. But if you do it a little too early, then you'll only take half damage. And if you don't do it at all, or you do it too late, then you take full damage. Alright, right there, I did it. There's no like indicator or anything. That number above the enemy is its health. And you gain experience for winning. That's that whole system right there. Now there's a stats where it tells you how much XP and what level you're at, as well as your HP and special points and all sorts of other stats. Right now the only ones that work are health, attack, and defense. Speed doesn't do anything, style doesn't do anything, and special points also does not do anything. Oh, I also have chests work. I'll use this guide to show off the item capabilities. So testing rock. Right now I have this programmed to heal you for 10. And with a small puzzle cube, you can do 10 damage to an enemy. I also have chests working. Well, this particular one's empty, but they do work. Let me find another room with one. Here's an intersection room with another enemy, and go around it. Oh, it's right there. Forgot he was there. Oh yeah, this chest works. So if I open it, there's a small puzzle cube. Add it to my inventory. But yeah, so that's what I've got going so far. Obviously, the rooms loop back in on each other. The game doesn't look great, I know, but I hope to learn pixel art at some point. So right now, I'm working on this shopping system right here. So you see a little mole guy with the thing. You can press spacebar to talk to him. He doesn't have collision or anything, but takes you to the shopping menu. What'll it be? And you can probably tell how this works, but I have my player sent to a separate room, and this is where I left off last time I worked on it. So this time I'm going to implement a menu system to actually select these things. Alright, we're just going to get started. Go to my workspace. So first thing I want to do right now, is I want to go into this player sprite that I have, or player object that I have, and I want to make it so that he can't move when he's in the battle. Okay. Test. Or shop test. There we go. This just checks whether or not the player is allowed to move. If the room does not equal any of these rooms that the player shouldn't be able to move in, or some other entity exists that would prevent the player from moving, then just don't allow the player to move, or it doesn't register any inputs. And all this GUI stuff has to do with like the menuing, like with the blue menu, you press the E button or E key to open up the menu. You press R to go to a specific room. And yeah, this E key pressed, this just basically opens up the inventory. Right, but that's enough of the player. Right now I'm interested in... Let me see if I can find it. The shop object. Actually, I'm interested in this guy. So right now I only have it so that if the room is the shop test, then it opens up this menu box that I created a function for, or a script for rather. So we're getting a script for this that basically just draws a big blue box with options in it. Now, let me remember, let me just copy and paste some stuff in here. Or that's from here. So this is just getting rid of all that this does. Let me describe it. Get rid of empty, what would you call them? I guess empty indexes? I don't know, I'm just gonna get rid of empty indexes. Basically it just goes through the inventory index, looks for any blank entries, and then replaces them, or deletes them essentially. And then what this does, menu buffer, this is for selecting different menus. This, I'm gonna copy this real quick. This is for obviously menu navigation. Actually, I should probably define that somewhere else there. Top of the GUI. Okay. Basically just copying pasting stuff that I already have here in the player object, because each object handles its own menu system independently, which might not be the best way to do it, but I don't know. It works. It works in my case. So, okay, so I've got subscribers. It's just 0, I guess, because it's getting initialized. Current menu equals 0, so we're at the default menu, or the one we get when we enter the shopping thing. Then we'll draw the box. That gives us all our options. Let's see here. I'm just copying and pasting some more code. So this is for setting the maximum length of each menu. So if the current menu equals 0, then it sets the corresponding max of the menu to whatever, you know. Box. Alright, so this just draws each box again. Probably not the most efficient way to do it, but it's how I do it. Maybe I'll clean it up later. This is just drawing the stats menu selection. Okay. I should probably paste the stuff I did earlier. Alright, current equals 0. Then we're going to do shop options. I'm holding all the options that are available for each menu. Just in an array, so that they're easy to add and subtract from later. Oh, let's see, I'm missing something. Or just default menu max 0. This system that I have essentially allows me to make multiple menus and sub-menus within other sub-menus. It's just a method that I developed. Right. So now I just gotta copy paste a bunch of stuff basically. So now I can go to this, and this code, what it does, it draws the little selection arrow for letting you know what you're selecting basically. I'm just gonna copy this whole thing and edit it as I need to. Controlled. That's not. It's not how you spell controls. Menu controls. I need to specify. I don't need to specify this. I don't need this if statement right now. I'm missing. Turn menu select. I'm just gonna set it to. I'm just gonna define it here. Select equals 0. Just gonna define it in there real quick. And then basically what this does is it allows you to select various, or it stores the index at which you're selecting the current menu item. And then what this does, if you press up, it goes up 1. If you press down, it goes down 1. If the current index is greater than the maximum, then it goes back to the beginning. And if it's less than the beginning, or if it's less than 0 basically, then it goes all the way back up to the front. It basically loops over. I don't have these W values set. yet. Okay. I need to set a W value. I don't know if it's here. Oh, I do have a W value here. Okay, that's good. Then I just need to tweak these values. So this. Seven. So this draws it the same. I actually can't really remember what this does. I think this is like the buffer, and then this is like. Okay, this is okay. Yeah, this is where it starts. What's that? So what is that? I'm just gonna keep it at 0.2, and then this is how many it changes by. So this should be fine. I'm gonna test it real quick, just make sure I didn't make any critical errors and such. So just walk over to here, and something went off. All right. Very strange. Oh, you know what? It's because this used to be lowercase. Because in here it's lowercase, just to make it different from the other one. So let me abort that real quick. Alright. Pardon the technical difficulties. This is my process of game development. And it went wrong again. What the heck? Okay. Oh. Just making sure one more time. There aren't any capital M's. Alright. Third time's the charm. This one should work. Alright. Open my shop. Okay, we did not crash this time, so that's good. Alright, see, it's working. But I will have to adjust where the position of the arrow is. I don't know if you can see it in there. But it does work. It's kind of robust. It's relatively simple, actually. And yeah, I got my little guy here. And my player no longer moves. He's in the corner. I'll have to hide him a little bit better. But, yeah. So, I just gotta adjust some numbers. 6, 5. Right, or 6, 2, 5. Let's try that. And then what I have to do is I have to make it so you can actually select these menus. So pretty much just copy and pasting a lot of text, or a lot of instructions that are in the player test's way of handling menus. So probably shouldn't use an if statement. Should probably use a switch case. Oh, there is switch cases actually. There's a switch case in here. This just checks if you're in the inventory, it checks what you actually selected. Let's see. If arrow up is pressed, it increases the index by 1, adds the number of UI elements, then gets the modulus by the length. Works with the index going both up and down. I don't know how to implement that, sorry. This whole game maker thing, it's its own language. It's not like JavaScript or anything. It's similar to most other languages. Like, it has a lot of things, but it's a little different. So I'm not sure how that would translate to this sort of program. Right. So what I have here is if you're in the main menu, it just decides what you picked. This is all if menu selecting over the spacebar is pressed. Copy this over. Copy that over. So I got that, and then I need if the current menu is 0 and not menu buffer. If you have this, what this says is basically if you selected the items category, then it changes the menu to the items category. Like this is the menu ID for items. Just copy this. Main menu, I guess. Oh yeah, I have to add the missing bracket. There we go. Do I have menu buffer in here? I do not. Let me see here. Copy paste it in real quick. Menu buffer. Looks like C# underneath that. Some code files. It's not C#. There is no like void classes or like you basically define functions in these scripts. So like you can right click to say create a script, and then let me show you my draw menu box. So this just accepts various arguments, and then it draws the text box. To my groundhog. Change this to say, change this to say buy, because items as a index doesn't exist in this array, so I can change it to buy, because that's the first option. And then we'll change it to the current menu. Paste the buffer, make sure this works. Equals 1, and then items. Okay. So now I guess I need to make items. Selling items. Or an array at which the items are sold, the available items to be sold. And I have them as strings just because it's easier. It's more visual for me. I should sell testing bucks. Oops, didn't select the entire thing there. Yeah, index at 1 should be puzzle. Alright. Just have those two in there for now. And then if I copy this, paste it in, change this to 1, and then go what's it? Sell items. And then bada bing bada boom. Probably isn't very efficient, but I'll change it. I'll optimize it later because I'm just trying to get something down and working for now. Selling items, basically the same. Basically the same size window, and then you just copy paste this. Change this to 1. Change Well, don't change anything else, actually, that's fine. That's all you have to do. Oh, right. If menu select. Alright, so now if you press the spacebar, it changes the menu. So that should work, hopefully, fingers crossed. Basically just copying pasting code from the player. Ternary operators? I've never seen colons used in what are those? Colons used in the assignment declarations. I've never seen that before. And I've looked up a couple tutorials with this. Oh, I have it wrong. Oh well. Ah, there it is. That's because I'm big dumb and forgot to uncapitalize that. And that. Like, I've absolutely never seen anyone do something like, let me go into here actually, equals like menu colon AJ. I've never seen that. That's just me. Alright, so, alright, now that should work. I just have to remember to decapitalize the menu, because I spelt it differently in this particular object, and none of the other ones. Did not. Oh, because this is the wrong shop options. That's the wrong ID it's looking for. Similarly, this should also be changed, or like, actually, what is this doing here? Hold up. I haven't worked on this in quite some time, so I'm a little rusty. Alright. Oh. Okay, this just checks if you're able to open the menu. Alright, that can just be removed then. It just sets the current menu to 1. And then let me change this. Alright, maybe it works this time. Hey, we got him. And that's how it's done. Oh, I can still open my inventory here. That's... Didn't want me to press that. Oops, sorry. Didn't want me to press that. Let's see here. So I need to not be able to open my inventory here. I hope the stream is still going. Oh, it's demo shop, not shop demo. everything should, well, it is working now, so let's see. When I, okay. So when I select the different items, what I want to do is I want to look up this item in like just a list of items that can be sold. Look up its selling price. Current menu equals 1, and then trust it's a menu buffer, and what this will do is, what setting a menu buffer here does is that if I define any shop options below, like if I say if current is 1, then since if it was 0, it just got set to 1, and so afterwards it would immediately like press this, like it would basically press space through multiple menus. It's kind of hard to explain, but this needs to be here. I could just define it above it, but I don't know. Alright, so current menu is 1. Then I need look. I'll define a new script to look up the item. I'll call this as look up item. Right. This look up item, and then I'll have some parameters set. I'm very new to this whole thing. I don't think you can define classes. I don't know. I don't think you can define like classes of things, so I haven't really done a whole lot of research, but this is just, I just want something to get working, and I'll optimize it later if I need to. So, I mean, that is a good idea. I think eventually what I'll do is I'll have one object that manages all of the menus in the game, so that any object you could just call the menu object or spawn into place, and then the menu will handle everything else. So instead of having to recode this multiple times, then I just call one object, and that object will deal with everything. So I think that's that could be a way of doing it into class, into like separating into classes. And, based on whatever object spawned it, it will affect what menu it's going to display. Right. I think that's an approach that could work, in my opinion. All right, so lookup item. We need an actual item to look up. So we need the item in question. And I don't. Do we need any other parameters? Does return? Return. Let's see, how does this work? I'm gonna get some help on this return. So scripts can return a value, so that they can be used in expressions. And then everything after it will not be run. Alright. So you can just return an expression. That's handy. That's handy. So it looks up the item, and then just define an argument here. Right, so zero. I guess I could just have a giant switch statement. Switch item. Case. Is that not how this works? Okay, yeah, there we go. I got it all set up. So in the case that the item is a testing rock, return, I guess I should set a price. Our price equals 0. Oops, didn't do that. So if that happens, return. Oh, I guess I should set the price. Price equals, we'll say 10. And then return price. Okay, so that's one switch, and then we go break. And then break, which defines the entire case. So that should work, hopefully, if my research is correct. So then, actually, I can just switch the, I can just check whatever item it is at the current menu. So if I change this to selling items, and then make it at the index of whatever we've selected, we can then basically detect whatever the item we just collected was. That way we can add and create, or add and remove different indexes as we please, and this just makes it easier. Just capitalize this real quick. And then if case so in the case that it is a testing rock, we'll just do this real quick. Then it will draw, well, not draw, but draw a text box, because I have a text box script too. And basically you just give it the message, and you can give it multiple messages as well. So draw a text box. We can say, how do I do this then? Actually, I don't need this. Hold up. I can just draw the text box and then just string. I could string the value of selling item. I could just string the value of the index selling items at in select, and then add it to so you say, oh, you want this, huh? And then gotta say s lookup item. Well, I guess I could just do the same thing, right? I can just, so no matter what item it is, it'll, yeah, I can just do the same thing. Yep, I can just say that'll be this many dollars. Now, I'm gonna try this. Probably won't work first time, but that's the beauty of it. And in fact, let me add something else here. So if we're on the items menu and not instance score exists. So if an instance of the text boxes object, basically if we're in the items menu and there is no other text box and we've pressed space, then it tells us the price of the item that we just selected. So this probably won't work first time. Probably get another error message, but we'll hope and see. Good. What'll it be? Buy. Oh, I guess I don't have the buffer set up. And I can still move. $0. It'll be $0. It'll be $0. Awesome. Do I have it spelled right? Oh, I have testing rocks. It's just testing rock. That'll be $0. It's free. Just copy this real quick. So what I just did is essentially I disabled movement for the up and down arrows. If an instance of the text boxes exists, then the up and down arrows won't go up and down. Alright, that should work. I guess I have to, hold on. I have to add, and not menu buff. Alright. That way, I can, essentially how it, you know how it went like straight to, saying, hey, you bought this item? With the line I just added, I will be able to click on that and then boom, just takes me straight here. So now click on testing mark, that'll be $10. And I'm stuck here because I can't move. So now I want it to wait until the previous text box is over, and then ask you, will you buy it? And then have like a yes or no option. So... Let me create another variable for this. I'll explain what this does, or what I'm thinking this will do, after I've written it. So then after... So basically, when you select something off the menu, right, it will select this. It changes this dialog advanced setting to true, and so this checks to see if this previous text box is no longer active, and if it is, it'll set the menu to something else. So. At 0 will be sure. And by option at 1 will be no thanks. Set the current menu. So basically going to be like a sub menu inside the items menu. I'll set the menu to 2, and that's what that menu ID will be for selecting yes or no to buying something. Let's see here. I need to change the menu stuff. This one. Let's see here. Just 2. And then I'll have to change these parameters a bit to where on the screen this little mini menu will appear. So I'm thinking... So this will show up, this items menu will show up even if the confirm menu is up. It'll make sense in a bit. It'll all make sense. I have a grand plan. This will all make sense when I actually implement it. But right now I'm in the middle of writing. I want to write roughly there. I want to go disappears at, yeah, so we'll say 7, 5. Right. Let's test everything out, make sure it works. So again, I'm creating the confirm submenu for buying items. So right now, what'll it be? Something doesn't work. That'll be $10. Oh, and already we have a problem. Because when the menu closes, it immediately tries to open the menu again. Check here just to make sure the so when I opened up the menu for the first time, it skipped the main one, so I couldn't like navigate that one, and it just went straight to the buy menu. Because when you press space, not only does it advance the text, but it also advances the option menu. So I just have to put a little quick fix that it waits until the text box instance doesn't exist anymore, and then we can continue on. Right, now that should work. I just want to see if this menu even pops up. Oh, that work. It did not pop up at all. Interesting. Let's see, what's going on here? Change that to 1 real quick just to see if that's working. Good. That's so weird. Oops, didn't mean to do that. It's not setting it to 2 at all. Very strange. That is very weird. know what it is? It's because if we set this to true, this won't get activated anymore. So I have to put this outside. That should work fine then. Yeah, that should be fine because it's not interacting with anything else. This is only true if that advance is true, and then I just turn it off when I... There we go. That should work. Hopefully. Hopefully that works and I actually get to appear. Just even to appear. Hey, it works. I did it. We got it to work. Nothing happens when you select it, obviously, but you know, it works. So I need another one for confirm. Alright, so now if the curve menu 2, so if we're in the menu selection thing, and not menu buffer, and the menu is not being buffered. Then let me go back and change these values real quick. After that, what happens? I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. My mind has been blank. I'm spacing out. I've been doing this for quite some time. Alright, let's see here. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out. First thing we need to draw text box. test this now, make sure it works. It'll be a testing mark, please. Did not show up. That is weird. That's strange. So strange. Why is that happening? That is very strange. That is so weird. It just doesn't appear. Hold on. If I put this up somewhere else, like here, maybe it'll print then? I don't know. Let me see here. And let me change this one around. $10. Do we have a deal? Oh, it's not letting me move. That's weird. Alright. I can fix this though. This is something I can fix. So I just remove this. Yeah, so what this does is, basically if we're on the item page, like where it lists all the items, it will only tick up or down if we are not on that list and there's no, there are no text boxes. Because what I need to be able to do is, I need to be able to navigate this menu, just in case. I need to be able to navigate this menu when the other text box is up. I'm going to move this up here. Just Just real quick, I'm gonna move it up here just to see if I can get the actual text box to print over this one specific text box. I feel like that should still work. I don't know. Let's see this one in action. I cannot move. That'll be $10. Very strange. That's very strange. I'm not quite sure why that's happening. I'm not able to move on these screens. Like, I'm not able to press up and down. That's so weird. I don't know what's causing that. That's really weird. So, if we're not at the current menu, or if not at the item select menu, I have to see that one more time, actually. Hold on. Because I feel like just not all of the conditions are able to be met. So in this one, there is a text box that exists. This one, no text box exists. But we're on this screen. So there are no text boxes. And we're on this screen. That is so weird. I just don't know where to start. I'll just remove this. Because, I don't know. I feel like it's just easier if I remove it. Because, like, the problem is, like, what if you enter the second screen with some text still open? Well, I'm just worried that the text boxes will get in the way. So I'm able to move on the screen. $0. Do we have a deal? No. I think this is just fine. I think this is fine how it is. gonna mash the spacebar. Yeah, I think I'm worried about is like texts, like text just overflowing and having there be more than one text box there because you can see it. That's what I'm afraid of, but I'm kind of pressing it very hard, so you kind of have to be very deliberate. And of course, that's only if you choose to buy it. So anyway, I think I'm happy with that. I got a system of buying items. It doesn't actually put them in your inventory or anything, so I should change that. And of course, I don't have a currency set up, so this is just all temporary. Equals the item that we just bought. So. Oh, it has to store that item actually. We have to remember what item it is. Alright. So item bought. Well, I guess it just sends to a string. There's no finish. Okay, so now that adds the item that we just bought to the end of our list. Right now there's no actual way of exiting the shop. It's a little strange. I'll just add that now. That's it. Just slow transition. We need a room to go to. Test dot p. Hold up. Where does it store the last room? There is it. Where's my... There it is. If it does not spell room or our shop. our shop test. So if it's not either of these, then it will go to the previous room. I'll just add this at the end. I probably don't need it, but I'll add it there for safety. So either these are true, or these aren't true. I guess that needs to be an and. If we're not in either of these rooms. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it has to be an and. Okay. That should work. Zoom, fade color, black, C underscore black. Bit speed. I think that's the right speed. It's just 0.5. I want 0.5. Speed X. Need prev row X position. X position. And then copy this one over and just get the Y position. Okay. That should hopefully work. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna hope this one works. Alright, so now we should be able to go in. What will it be? Gonna buy an item, testing rock. $2. Have a deal? Sure. Thanks so much. Okay, the fade speed is just really slow. Let's see if this works, hopefully. Hey. I cannot seem to move. Or I cannot seem to... That's weird. I can't seem to open my inventory here. Anyways. And now I have another testing rock. So that works. That's weird, I can't open my inventory in here. That's so weird. Can I talk to this guy? Can I talk to either of these? Okay, that works. $0, thanks. That fade takes a little while because I made it a little too slow there. But that's quite weird. And I'm all the way down here instead of all the way up there. That's kind of strange, not gonna lie. Anyways. So that works. I'll add a cost when I add coins. That is a little weird, actually. I don't know why that happens. Am I able to open it just before? Let's see here. No, I'm not able to open it at all. I'm not able to open it at all in this room. Demo shop. Oh, because I guess it's in the demo shop. Hold up. I need to be in shop test. Yeah, our shop test. And not demo shop. Shop. Because demo shop refers to this room, where the shop actually is, and shop test is this room with the actual shopping interface. So yeah, that all works nice and dandy. I mostly accomplished what I set out to do. Stream's going for rather long. So I think I'm going to call the stream here. Thank you, Win1, for watching. Thanks, Jensen, for providing some useful intel. I'm sorry I couldn't really, use all of this like ternary operators. I'll have to look into those more, and I'll definitely have to look into creating an object to manage menus. Like instead of having to recode menus for each object, I'll have to look into adding an object to just handle everything for me. Yeah, thanks for your suggestions. I think that's gonna be it. Thanks for